May I remind you that trading is risky and not suitable for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Welcome to QuantBox Daily. Today is Monday, November 28th. I hope you had a lovely Thanksgiving weekend, that you got to hang out with your family and you got to spend time eating delicious food, and that you're ready for a brand new trading week. And here we go. So let's take a look at the fundamental analysis on QuantBox. Euro dollar coming in with a sell. The colors haven't changed. Okay. We've got news-wise. Let's take a look and see some low and high impact news out of the Eurozone today. What else we got? Some low tier news. Some more low tier news. Okay, so there's a nice spread of European news today. Some medium tier news with some speeches going on today. Pay attention to those. Some stuff out of the States later, medium and low. Some more. This is more like 22 hours away, so we won't worry about that. Okay, so like low tier news out of Europe today. Some American news, but overall seems like a pretty quiet day for news. On pound dollar, we've come through the neutral bias, and we've got some news out of the UK. All right, cool. So far as USD CAD is concerned, we've got a buy on USD CAD. Aussie USD, we've got neutral. Any news out of Canada today? Some medium tier news out of Canada. Aussie coming through neutral. Kiwi coming through as a buy. Okay. Aussie yen, neutral. CAD yen, neutral. Euro yen is a buy. Pound yen is a buy. And Kiwi yen is see details. Okay, cool. So there's some data issues on Kiwi yen. All right, cool. And then Euro Swissy, we got a sell. Pound Swissy, we've got neutral. Aussie Swissy, we got neutral. Kiwi Swissy, we got a buy. And then CAD Swissy, we got a buy. All right, cool. So let's take a look at technicals, shall we? Now, we're going to do something a bit different this week with regards to our technicals. Instead of just eyeing ourselves out on the daily chart, we're actually going to put a line down. Yeah, we are. We're say, like, have we interacted with support? Now, we're not looking to buy up here. All right, so price currently, if we sort of draw this out, we can actually see here last week, still contained inside a range over here. Okay. And we don't find ourselves closing at any kind of role reversal over here. Again, like out of position for buyers for sure. So nothing really stands out in the daily time frame. Price closing down. You can see there looking like we've closed at that support left-hand side. Okay. So we take a look at the H4 time frame. Remember, if euro-dollar is bearish, we're looking for indication to sell. If we take a look at last week off that green candle, do we come off any kind of role reversals? So you can see we broke resistance over here, and we remain sort of top of the range over here. So our daily time frame not really highlighting anything for us at the moment. So far as H4 is concerned, take a look at the H4 candle over there. You can see that we don't really close at any kind of resistance. So we'll just leave that alone. We can actually see we're coming off support over here a bit. Okay, not looking for a buy, currently a bear. Not closing any bullish roll reversals either. Okay, unlike when price was down here. Although that also wasn't really a roll reversal. It was more like a S1 going all the way to R1 last week. Okay. So now we're currently over here. Is price trying to make a higher low? Okay, well, that's fine if price is, because we're so far out of bounds. We got like a couple of days until we get new monthly pivot points. So probably going to wait for that. But in terms of where price is right now, we're not closing any kind of support. You are in a buy zone between weekly M2 and weekly pivot point, but I'm looking for an indication of roll reversal before I do any buying. And of course, I'd like to be in position when I do the buying, because right now we're so far out of position, you're not going to get much return on investment on a trade up here. Rather dangerous. Even though last week produced something quite nice, Okay, and it would have been great to get into that trade if you were a bull. 200 pips is nothing to laugh at. The challenge on this time frame was price didn't close at any kind of roll reversal. Of course, you could have seen this over here and said, hold on a second. Wait a minute. Could you not have bought that? Price coming up, closing down to support. Yeah, sure you could have. No problem. That would have been a good buy over there. So looking over here, you can see we don't have anything like that at the moment. Let's see how this New York candle closes. Let's see if we're going to close at resistance. Although even that still being a higher low compared to everything else, coming up to close at resistance, I see some consolidation coming up ahead of us. Okay. You can see that's pretty much what the H1 chart is predicting as well. So let's take a look and see how our Aussie USD is looking. Daily time frame still sitting inside profit-taking zones, and you can see they're not closing any kind of resistance on the daily time frame. Okay, but messy. H4 sitting down here to weekly M2. I'm not seeing price closing at any kind of roll reversal support, so I'm going to leave that alone as well. Looking at H1, you can see they're currently way below the profit-taking zone early in the day. Okay, interesting. So what are you waiting for? Well, if you're a bear, you're looking for price to close a resistance. If you're a bull, you're way out of position. So what are you going to do? Well, I think we should wait. Let's take a look and see on pound dollar. So all the way up here. Now notice how price hasn't pulled back down to close the support down here. We kind of broke all the way up. Now we're hanging out up here. Okay. So coming up with 4-hour 21, interesting. Price very much out of position right now, and we have not tested support down here. So it's untested levels down here. I'm waiting for price to close at resistance up here. Okay. We've got a weekly M3, and so we'll have a look and see how things develop during the course of today. You can see there 21.55 flat in the H1 time frame, so that calls for patience. Okay. I'm actually really happy this month's almost done, because sitting at a monthly profit-taking zone for the entire month is never, ever fun. Here's Kiwi dollar, and way above profit-taking zone still. Okay, and here we are. We opened in position for a sell this week, and we haven't got price closing at any kind of resistance yet, so we have to wait for this to develop as well. USD CAD, here we are, back at that monthly profit-taking zone. Okay, so price came all the way down, didn't close at any kind of roll reversal. Price now shot up. I still see this as consolidating. Look at that 21.55. Price all the way up above profit-taking zone. Okay, cool. So we have to wait for this to develop. Let's give it some time. Gee whiz, frustrating, right? Okay, here we are, Aussie yen. So we've got Aussie yen has broken out of this consolidation. That's a good sign. Okay, let's just, mark off our range over here. And so now prices come down. So are we looking for a pullback to resistance? Yes, we are. Have we got that right now? No, we don't. What is looking at H4? Price kind of just dropped. Okay, cool. So we're looking for that pullback. Let's wait for that pullback, and let's get that pullback if it produces one. If price comes all the way down and doesn't make a lower high, then price is coming all the way back up. Okay. So let's wait for that to develop. CAD yen, it's a similar thing. Okay, now currently the profit-taking zone. So again, we haven't tested resistance up here. All the way down here, the weekly target on Monday. So looking at this and saying, well, if price is at a profit-taking zone, you're looking for higher, 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 low. Okay. In terms of lower, low, lower, high, what's interesting is last week you did get price breaking down, pulling back off of 21, coming off this roll reversal over here. So if you sold that last week, good for you. Okay, that would have been a good sell. And you're currently in that trade right now. That was on Friday, New York. Okay. Euro yen also currently breaking out of ranges. We haven't closed resistance yet. That's all I'm looking for on these yen pairs. Just give me a close at resistance on the daily, and I can then take this thing down. So that hasn't set up yet, but let's keep a very close eye on this. We've been watching the yen pairs very closely, looking for bearishness. Pound yen daily. Okay, that one hasn't really set up. But again, all we're looking for is a pullback up to resistance. Give us a pullback up to resistance. And it will form like that. So if you go back to where everything started in terms of bullishness, you'll find a higher high, higher low. So we're going to get it eventually. We just have to be patient. Okay, Kiwi yen. So we got this move down. Same with everything else. But I don't see a lower high yet. Okay, we're looking for that lower high. Aussie Swissy, still sitting in that consolidation. CAD Swissy, all the way down here to profit-taking zone. Okay, cool. So if you're looking for a buy, you're looking for a higher high, higher low. Euro Swissy, still consolidating. Very tight range in the daily time frame. Pound Swissy, not much going on there. You can see, look at the daily time frame, looking for some kind of structure there. And then Kiwi Swissy, similar. So here's the sort of summary, right? These Swiss pairs, fine, whatever. But on the yen pairs, definitely waiting for a pullback to resistance. Now remember, it's a daily candle. So what happened today? I'm looking for that. You know, can we set that up in the next couple of days? Price comes down, price turns around, price pulls back up, hits resistance. The fact that price is closed so far away from that, I'm doubtful that's going to happen, but let's have a look and see what takes place. It's very possible. The same with the other yen pairs. In terms of the dollar pairs, similar type of story. Looking for that structure on the daily time frame. So, yeah, we're still waiting for things to set up. I think my big eye in terms of today's euro dollar. So I'm going to hit euro dollar and pound dollar. So I'm going to look at euro dollar New York and see, like, do we close at any kind of resistance that's worthwhile sort of identifying as a lower high? And if so, then great. Specifically pound dollar being so high. Okay, you can see we opened up in a sell zone this week. So I know there's a 21 EMA here, fair enough. But if we can close at resistance or make some indication of a lower low, lower high, then awesome. And of course, that would then continue to play out as a price moving up to resistance, then price coming down, lower low, lower high. So on an M15, that's what I'll be looking for. Let's see how things set up. I'm not in a rush. I'm super chilled and super patient. We get new pivot points in a couple of days. But pay attention to little tiny signs, like, for example, when price broke out of here, it didn't pull back down and touch support. So if price just comes down and closes at support, well, that's great for bullishness. But if price stays up here and suddenly closes at resistance, then that would then turn into a lower high. And you can see here, we don't really have price closing at resistance. We've got resistance over there. So we'll have to see how this sets up on H4. So a call for more patience, my friends. Just take it easy. If things look obvious, then go ahead and take the trade. But remember your position, remember your bias, and remember how you can confirm that bias regardless what time frame you're on. Even on pound dollar right now, looking at M15 time frame, does that look like we are incredibly bearish right now? We've just broken to a 21 and a 55. Okay, so just check every single time frame. You're looking for bearishness. Bearishness looks like lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. Okay. Stay disciplined, stay patient, stay liquid. And if there's anything set up for New York, I'll definitely drop a New York follow-up. Otherwise, I'll see you fine human beings tomorrow. Have a good day. Cheers.